So hello. Well, I want to welcome you all to ESIP 101. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. If you have questions throughout the talk, please feel free to put them in chat and we will make time to get to those at the end. I am Susan Shingledecker, Executive Director of ESIP, Earth Science Information Partners. Our aim today is to give you a fast-paced overview of who ESIP is, what we have to offer, and how you can connect and participate with us. ESIP is a large community of experts spanning a broad range of technical and domain-specific expertise. It can be hard to know where to start sometimes, but once you dive in, I think you will find ESIP is a friendly and welcoming place, and our team wants to do everything we can to ensure that. Our full team is here with us today, and I look forward to introducing you to them shortly. ESIP's vision as a community is to be a leader in promoting the collection, stewardship, use and reuse of earth science data, information, and knowledge. And especially important is that we do this in a way that is responsive to societal needs. To me, the challenges we face as a world today in 2021 are so great. We know that data is at the heart of understanding and overcoming these challenges. As a community, we want to ensure that earth science data is used most effectively, most efficiently, and that it is available to all who need it. We believe that working together in a collaborative, coordinated fashion and putting data at the center, we can solve some of the world's greatest problems. Underlying ESIP's work and our community is our core values here. For over 20 years, ESIP has been committed to being agile, collaborative, innovative, neutral, open. I won't read them all. Have you ever faced a challenge in your work that you felt you had to overcome alone? Have you ever thought to yourself, I can't be the only one struggling with this problem? ESIP is the place where some of the brightest minds in earth science data management come to tackle these types of challenges together. ESIP is a non-competitive space powered by a spirit of collaboration around data management and data stewardship. Driving our work is our shared agenda and our strategic themes. We are on the cusp of adopting a new set of strategic themes to lead us forward for the next 5 years. These will be formally adopted next Friday at the close of our winter meeting. Of note, at the top of our list is our commitment to promoting a healthy and inclusive culture within ESIP. You can learn more about these efforts at a session on the ESIP Community Participation Guidelines on Tuesday next week. Leading innovation in earth science data frontiers is our theme for 2021, and making earth science data matter, increasing collaboration, and elevating the role of earth science data professionals are at the heart of the work we do every day. So who is the ESIP community? I like to think of us as a brain trust of earth science data professionals. We represent individuals and organizations working across the data lifecycle, from users to application developers, tool and system developers, data providers, and archivists. We are interdisciplinary and cross-sectoral. The expertise within the ESIP community crosses multiple scientific domains, and especially exciting to me is that the ESIP community bridges academia, the private sector, and state and federal agencies. We provide that place where all these people can come together. We are fortunate to have long-standing federal support in the form of multi-year cooperative agreements with NASA, NOAA, and USGS. And we are proud to be a place where federal agencies can come together to collaborate. Within ESIP, we have 5 primary partner types. Type 1 is our data and information distributors, repositories, and archive centers. Type 1 partners are primarily stewards and distributors of earth science and related data, and they're supporting catalogs, metadata, software, and documentation. Type 2 partners are engaged principally in the development, provision, and support of earth science research data and information products, including technology, infrastructure, and services, aimed primarily at earth science and research community. Type 3 partners are earth science applied service providers. They are engaged principally in the development, provision, and support of applications or services that use and disseminate earth science data for activities such as decision support, outreach, advocacy, or education. Type 4 partners are the major financial or in-kind supporters of ESIP activities. And lastly, our type 5 partners are other collaborative data networks. These are other associations or networked organizations with missions that complement ESIP. So I ask you to ask yourself, is your organization or institution an ESIP partner? We would love to discuss where you fit in and see you as a full partner within ESIP. One of the benefits of becoming an ESIP partner is the ability to be nominated for elected leadership. With the exception of the at-large members shown here in yellow, to serve in elected leadership, you must be affiliated with an ESIP partner organization. ESIP is guided by our elected leaders, and we are grateful for their time. We hold elections annually, and we look forward to our leadership transition at the end of the winter meeting next Friday. This slide shows our current elected leaders. The board of directors is comprised of the green and yellow rectangles led by our president and vice president. The green and blue rectangles are our program committee, which is a portion of the board, and the chairs of our technical committees. The technical committees provide another way to look at how ESIP is organized, with the work and collaboration happening in each of these 4 areas: data stewardship, education, information technology and interoperability, and semantic technology. Another group of individuals you will come to know are the ESIP Community Fellows. Our Community Fellows are current graduate students or recent postdocs who engage with the ESIP community more deeply and are assigned to specific collaboration areas to provide additional support. They bring their current research interest to the community, help manage the activity of the area where they are assigned, and they provide support to the running of our 2 large community meetings each year. We see the Community Fellows program as a great way to connect with and invest in the development of these early career professionals and expose them to the work of community management early in their careers. We have seen many of our Community Fellows benefit from the networking they found, and they have gone on to be some of ESIP's most active community members throughout their careers. In understanding ESIP, it is important to know who we are and who we are not. One of the most common misperceptions about ESIP is that we have the data. ESIP connects people. We operate at the top of this slide. ESIP provides the collaborative infrastructure to connect people with each other and to help them work together. Those groups may generate recommendations and work products, and then participants go back to their home institutions to implement those recommendations. ESIP does not provide data, sustain infrastructure, develop standards, or compete with our partners. Core to our work and who we are is providing the collaborative infrastructure, the backbone support that helps to lower barriers to collaboration. Many of these elements are meant to remove geographic, financial, and temporal hurdles and form a kind of support structure or a jungle gym on which the community can work. What the community chooses to do on top of this is up to you. This collaborative infrastructure isn't static. It evolves daily, especially in a COVID-19 world. And our team works to stay on top of the latest trends and innovations in collaboration tools. You can see on the right-hand side, we use a variety of means to connect the ESIP community and our work. As I said, this all takes work. I want to introduce the ESIP staff team, who you will come to know. Annie Burgess is the ESIP Lab director and is based in Bozeman, Montana. Megan Carter, is our community director based in Nyack, New York. And our newest team member is Patty Allen, our operations director in Annapolis, Maryland. Each member of this team brings unique skills to the organization. The work of community building and virtual collaboration takes a ton of behind the scenes effort, and this team truly goes above and beyond every day. It is my hope that as you engage with ESIP, you will get to know our team well. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime with questions. From here, I'm going to pass it off to our team to go into greater depth on the 3 primary approaches used within ESIP to support the community, foster innovation, and encourage collaboration. Megan will cover our virtual collaboration work that is active 365 days a year in between our 2 large, visible summer and winter meetings. Annie will also share how the ESIP Lab provides a mechanism for prototyping, experimentation, and skill development. Megan?
Thank you, Susan. Just give me one moment. So I'm here to talk to you today in my role as community director, and I want to tell you about the ESIP collaboration areas, which are approximately 30 themed collaborative groups within ESIP. These are groups of people that convene virtually regularly, typically monthly. Some are so enthusiastic that they actually meet multiple times a month. And they convene around earth science data related challenges or opportunities. You can see the list of currently active groups and the range of topics they span, from the more technical areas like cloud computing and machine learning to the more application areas like agriculture and climate and disasters. Most of these groups, particularly the clusters that are listed here on the right, are fairly informal in nature. They're proposed when there's a need to get work done, and they spin down once that work is done, thereby making room for other collaborations to spin up. Of course, should a need arise in that same area again, they can always reemerge. The goals and the formats of each collaboration area are dictated by the participants, not by us as ESIP staff. These goals can vary a lot. Some groups host webinars, so the Information and Technology and Interoperability Committee hosts a monthly Tech Dive webinar series. Some develop guidelines, so the data citation guidelines and the software and services citation guidelines. You may have heard of these recent outputs. Others lead open discussion. They find it very valuable to get together once a month to talk about what's going on in their work and what new developments they've heard of. Many groups plan and convene sessions at the twice annual ESIP meetings. These groups are free and they're open to join, so there's no RSVP necessary at any point. You can simply view the ESIP telecon calendar at esipfed.org/telecons and hop on any of those calls at any time. And once you do, I like to suggest that you speak up and share what challenges or opportunities you're working on in your day job. We want these collaborations to be relevant and helpful for you. So if you can share what you're working on, what matters to you, what would keep you coming back, that's really what we're looking for. So like I said, many of the ESIP collaboration areas will host breakout sessions at the meeting next week, and here are just a few examples. The brand new physical sample curation cluster will host their kickoff event. You can be there to have your say in what activities the group undertakes in the next year, with the focus of enhancing discoverability, access, and use of physical sample collections. Also relatively new, the Biological Data Standards Cluster will take us on a trip around the world to discover innovative approaches to informatics challenges associated with biological data. The Machine Learning Cluster will showcase multiple artificial intelligence practitioners who will share their experiences and workflows related to preparing AI-ready data, training AI models, and applying AI in a variety of real scenarios, including air quality and earthquake monitoring. As a follow-up to the do-a-thon hosted at the last ESIP summer meeting, the Community Data Cluster will host a gap analysis and ideation session in which they identify data gaps related to water quality and environmental justice, specifically in Flint, Michigan. And they want to ideate together around ways that their group might be able to build resources, curate data, or otherwise help bridge these gaps, likely as part of a hackathon that they plan for the upcoming ESIP summer meeting. So you can see that some of these groups are really thinking carefully about sequencing their activities and not planning just standalone events, but building and working towards a goal over the long term. The Research Object Citation Cluster is going to continue their work on the credit aspect of citation for important but often unrecognized roles related to 5 different artifact types. These are data, software, physical samples, semantic resources, and learning resources. They've been looking at the contribution roles or credit taxonomy and how those might apply to these kinds of artifacts. And they're also looking at what roles are missing and whether there's a way to generalize credit mechanisms for multiple artifact types. And finally, I'd just like to call out the Community Resilience Cluster and their working session, which will aim to gather feedback on the cluster's problem statement. In this problem statement, they've identified challenges that earth science data practitioners may encounter while attempting to support community resilience, including issues of inequity, data ethics and governance, scale mismatch, and meeting data needs. So that was, again, just a very small sampling of what you can expect at the meeting next week, but I hope you've been excited by what you've heard and that you already see a place or two where you might want to jump in and get involved. To broaden awareness of ESIP collaboration areas, you can see that it might be a little bit overwhelming given that there are so many groups. We plan these annual ESIP collaboration area highlights webinars. These are very fast-paced webinars with overviews of what many of the groups are working on. And it's a great place to hop in if you'd like to learn a lot quickly to figure out where you might want to jump in and get involved. So now I'll pass it off to my colleague, Annie Burgess, to tell you about the ESIP Lab.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay, Megan?
Yes, you sound great, Annie.
All right, awesome. Well, nice to meet everyone who is on this list that we haven't met before. It's great to have you here today and learning about ESIP. As Megan said, I'm the ESIP Lab Director, and a little bit about the lab, that we provide small grants that encourage skill development and community building. So we do this through the release of 2 annual RFPs, request for proposals, and what kind of sets the lab apart from other proposal opportunities is that we encourage both technology and learning objectives over the course of the project. A lot of times when you propose for something, you kind of hide what you don't know and hope you'll learn it over the course of the project, but we don't want that kind of humble attitude for these lab proposals. We want you to be explicit about what skills you want to develop and what you want to learn that will help propel you to future success. Megan, can you go to the next slide? So again, these 2 requests for proposals go out each year. They have a budget of $7,000 and last for about 6 months. The proposals go through a typical sort of review process where we engage members of the ESIP community and external domain experts to look at the proposals. And then we select proposals, let you know when you get to work really quickly. So from the time the proposal is submitted to selection is generally less than a month, and we're able to get you funding once you have deliverables that have been completed. Megan, can you go to the next slide? So where we see impact is, oops, let me go down here. We see impact not just by lines of code written, but really at the end of a project, if a project team has developed collaborations or learned skills that will ultimately make them more efficient and knowledgeable contributor to the broad scientific community moving forward. I also see impact in what the projects do after their ESIP Lab awards. We've had several projects go on to bigger proposal successes, both financially and just their technology evolving. We also hear a lot of feedback from PIs that are in the early career stage that this is the first proposal that they were awarded. It's allowed them to be in a really positive, collaborative, and facilitated technology development environment where I personally am helping them along the way find resources and build those collaborations. And so it's a collegial and exciting way to step into technology development, really in the kind of later stages of graduate school or early career. So you can see the link on the screen right now is esipfed.org/RFP. We have a currently open request for proposals. It closes, I believe, on January 29th. So if you are interested, please check out that link. And now I'm going to talk about another part of ESIP and kind of another way that we help our community connect. So, and this is the ESIP meetings. So they are anything but traditional. You know, you could think of traditional meetings having information presented to you in a passive way, really in one session after the next. But what makes ESIP meeting different? Megan, can you have the next slide? Really what makes ESIP meetings different is the amount of content that is contributed by the community, the numerous networking opportunities that we facilitate, in our explicit focus on a collegial learning environment. These meetings are open to all and typically draw about 300 attendees across the public, private, and academic sectors. And after our meetings, when we ask attendees about their experience, the most frequent response relates to really the people they met and the collaborations they formed, while at the same time coming away with greater technical knowledge. Next slide. So with the move to fully virtual events as of late, ESIP staff have worked very hard to preserve what has made past ESIP meetings successful, while also leveraging new opportunities that a virtual meeting provides. While this session will not provide an in-depth look at our meeting platform, we did want to mention ikoChat briefly, which is basically a wrapper around video conferencing software. In the case of our meeting next week, it'll be Zoom, and it allows participants to see each other in the space, but also have the autonomy to move around between events and have all of the files accessible along the way, kind of still allowing you to, the saying in many meetings is move with your feet. You can move between sessions easily and have all the digital content still available. So if you'll be attending the ESIP meeting next week and would like a little more technical training on what the space will look like and how to navigate it, you can see a YouTube link on the bottom of this slide. You can also see a QR code that you could scan with just use the camera app on your phone, and that'll take you right to that training content for ikoChat. And let's see, next slide. And I'd be remiss to not mention, kind of in the same lines of what makes our meetings different, is something that we hold at our summer meeting called Funding Friday. Funding Friday is a chance for attendees to come together during the meeting, come up with an idea, create a poster describing that idea, kind of using pen and paper or markers and big sheets of paper, and present it to other attendees on the last day of the meeting. All the attendees vote on the posters, and the 3 winning student and member posters win $3,000 and $5,000 respectively to work on that idea between the summer meeting and the winter meeting. So just to let everyone know, if you're attending the ESIP winter meeting next week, to look out for those Funding Friday projects during the research showcase that Megan is going to talk about very soon. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Megan, and she's going to describe 2 networking events that you can expect at the meeting.
Thank you very much, Annie. So first I'll tell you about the Research Showcase, which is a virtual gallery of posters and recorded demos and tutorials from ESIP meeting attendees. The gallery will be available for meeting attendees to view throughout the meeting, but we'll also have a live event on January 27th. That's next Wednesday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and it'll have a fun, fast-paced format. Outside of this time frame, you can also contact presenters to find a time to meet with them in the individual Zoom rooms that are associated with their presentations. And we found that the Research Showcase was one of the elements of the in-person meeting that translated best to the virtual world at the last ESIP meeting. So we encourage you not to miss this chance to meet others, to learn about their research, to share your own research, and to see ideas for future collaboration. A new event at this meeting will be the Collaboration Area Happy Hour, held on the first evening of the meeting. That's next Tuesday evening from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. This idea was seeded by the Marine Data Cluster, and it's indicative of a broader desire across most of the ESIP collaboration areas to be aware of what others are doing and to collaborate with one another where it makes sense. The evening will be a fairly informal social gathering to explore how best to support these cross-group interactions. Everybody is welcome. If you're not currently working with an ESIP collaboration area, that's not a problem at all. We invite you in to check it out. We'll be utilizing a spatial chat tool called Wonder. You might have seen it before. It allows you to talk to people whose icons are very close to yours in that space. So we'll be using this tool also for the daily coffee breaks, which will also be themed. I'm very excited about those as well. And we really think this will be a great way to facilitate networking. So if you're coming to the meeting next week, we invite you to join us on these adventures as well. And I just want to acknowledge that my camera is doing strange things right now, but please try to pay attention to the slides. On screen now, you can see just some quotes from past ESIP meeting attendees on the value of the meetings to them. Attendees have shared that the meetings have helped them to find their earth science data people, to find sounding boards for their ideas, to find a clear professional home for them as earth science data people. So we're excited to hear that some people already feel this way, and we want new folks, others, to think of ESIP in this way too. So we ask you to let us know kind of where you're at, how we can help, where you might want to get involved, what we can do better. This is a very responsive community, and we want to make sure that your experience is what you're hoping for it to be. So please don't hesitate to reach out to the staff and to the volunteer leaders to share your feedback. So while you're building your calendar for the ESIP meeting next week, don't worry if you can't make it to all the sessions. It's pretty much impossible to hit all the places that you might want to be. The ESIP meeting highlights webinar will be a great way for you to catch up through fast-paced lightning talks about what happened in the sessions and how to get involved in next steps. So you can expect this to happen on Friday, February 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And we'll also record this webinar and post it on YouTube if you can't make that live event either. Now, ESIP 101 would not be complete without mentioning another event that ESIP regularly supports and feels very passionately about. The Data Help Desk provides researchers with opportunities to engage with informatics experts who are familiar with their scientific domain and to learn about skills and techniques that will help them to further their research and to make their data and software more open and fair, that is findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. This is a way in which we connect to the broader research community and help to showcase the tools and resources of our partners. In the past, these events have taken place as exhibit booths at scientific meetings, but along with our partners, including the EarthCube Community Office and the American Geophysical Union, we have also successfully hosted 3 virtual data help desks, largely on Twitter actually, and we're planning to do this again in the coming year. So if you have expertise you would like to share as part of a future event, please feel free to reach out to me. And now I will pass it back to Susan to close us out.
So as you can see, there are a number of ways you can get involved in ESIP. We want ESIP to be the place where you come to discover, innovate, collaborate, and network. You can join one of the collaboration areas. You can apply for small grant funding through the ESIP Lab. You can encourage your organization to become an ESIP partner. We encourage you to engage in any and all ways that are productive for you. If you have questions about where you might plug in, please reach out to a member of the ESIP staff. We would be happy to help you. I hope you have learned a bit about ESIP meetings, collaboration areas, and the ESIP Lab. If you take just one action today, I would recommend that you sign up for our Monday update mailing list. The link is on the bottom left here. This will help you get a once-a-week update on all things in and around ESIP. Finally, I would like to thank everyone for attending today. We hope you learned a lot, and now we're happy to answer any questions. If people would like to turn on their videos, then we can see you. So in the chat, I saw a question from Carla about, do you need to be a member of an ESIP, you need to be an ESIP partner to attend an ESIP committee meeting? So the ESIP committees, you will see from that one diagram I had, we have kind of the administrative committees that are the running of the organization, partnership, meetings, governance, and then we have the technical committees. Each committee, we go through a process with the partners to make sure we have one member representative from each partner group on each committee. So our committee members are typically members of partner organizations, but to my knowledge, ESIP committees are open to participation for others anytime you want to join in. And that's a great way to learn more about the workings of the organization or of a specific committee. What other questions do people have? We have, I'm happy to see we have ESIP's President Tamara Ledley. We have Denise Hill, the chair of our governance committee and our incoming vice president with us too. So we have elected leadership with us also. No other questions?
Thumbs up if you're excited for the meeting next week. 2 thumbs up even. That's nice to see.
All right, well, and now you can see the faces of everyone. You didn't get to hear from Patty in our presentation, but Patty is behind the scenes making everything work for us on the operations front. And as Megan said in the chat, we will take the recording and we will post it to YouTube. So if there were any of your colleagues who were not able to join us that you think would benefit from this presentation, please, we would love for you to share it with them. We don't have any questions. Oh. Thought I heard something.
That was me just saying thank you. No one else important.
Yes, Carla, just to answer your question in the chat box, we will post both the recording and the slideshow we'll put the recording on YouTube, we'll put the slide deck in the ESIP Picture repository and make sure it's also linked under the video on YouTube, so you'll have both.
And thank you, Carla. Carla is our incoming head of the education committee. From Venice, how can university libraries best join as members? Megan, I'll let you field that.
That's a great question. ESIP has a partnership committee as well as staff that you can converse with on that topic. We do have some university libraries who are already partners with ESIP, so it's a very appropriate partnership to form. But I think the first step is just you sending an email to us saying that you're interested in exploring this and us scheduling a time to talk with you.
Yeah, and I didn't say it explicitly, there's not a fee to be a partner of ESIP. That's part of keeping the community open and accessible to all. So financially, it's not a financial investment. It's we're looking for your time and participation. All right, well, if there aren't any other questions, I want to thank you all again for joining us today. Thank you for your time. I hope that you will block the days next week, Tuesday through Friday, for our winter meeting so that you can engage deeply with us. I've tried to give everyone a warning that ESIP meetings, as Annie said, they are not, sit back and multitask on the side. We will be using Zoom breakout rooms. We will be using all kinds of interactive technology and techniques to engage with you. We want to provide an experience that where you meet new people, you come out inspired, maybe you get some of your challenges answered. And so we hope that you will block Tuesday through Friday so you can participate fully with us. We have a really full agenda and we're really excited to have you. So thank you, everyone. And if you have additional questions, reach out anytime.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.